There's a jolly figure, or so it seems, with a belly round and a heart so grand. He's the YouTube grifter, the joy of the land. Oh, he's as fat as Santa, but he comes all year, bringing laughter, joy, and a bit of cheer. Not just once in December, but every single day. Our YouTube grifter in his own special way. He's got a knack for stories, both wild and true. With a twinkle in his eye, he'll entertain you. From baking fails to epic wins, he's the gift that keeps on giving. Let the fun begin. Oh, he's as fat as Santa, but he comes all year, bringing laughter, joy, and a bit of cheer. Not just once in December, but every single day. Our YouTube grifter in his own special way. He's got around your screens, and don't be shy. He's got a tale to tell and a pie in the sky. With every click and every view, he's spreading holiday spirit just for you. Oh, he's as fat as Santa, but he comes all year, bringing laughter, joy, and a bit of cheer. Not just once in December, but every single day. Our YouTube grifter in his own special way. So here's to the grifter, our digital friend. May his joy and laughter never end. With a ho, 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 and a hearty cheer. Merry Christmas to all, and a Happy New Year.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome back. Everyone we were talking earlier when I did the members only stream, inviting people to go over to Jeff's channel and help him get to 100,000. He is at 98,500 people. So we only need 1,500 more, and his family can inherit a silver play button. It would be a nice send-off and a good way to remember a fellow YouTuber. But talking about a fellow YouTuber, is that gender neutral? I think it is. YouTubet? Maybe. A lady who I really got to know doing the Karen Reed case, and who is probably one of the funniest people after Mo. We have to put Mo number one always, and who is always very gracious when I ask her if she want to come on, do a little chitty chat. The wonderful, the only, the lady out of Florida herself, Miss Brandi.
Hello, Baker.
It's been so long, and you, I made a little fun of you today earlier in my. I said the reason you haven't streamed is because you're loved up.
Everybody thinks that. Everybody thinks that, like, all of a sudden I got all boot up and now I've quit streaming. Everybody thinks that, which is funny because I kind of did happen around the same time, but it's not because of that. But yeah, I hear that a lot, actually.
What you heard there, Chad, was you have to now hate Mr. Chad because he took her away from you. It's she is now frolicking on the beach as any good woman. Oh, you should have watched that testimony. You would have loved it. It's there was a young woman down in Florida who unalived her kid, and they had a guy testifying. And he went down there to visit them because she was a member of a cult. Well, call it cult, call it a religion. They had a guy with 4 wives. And he really wanted to get into that too. His girlfriend at the time was interested, but not really that into it. But he was talking about what was good with this relationship was because you women says you really can't do anything on your own. So every morning they were having a discussion talking about the women's problems because you have a lot of those.
Right.
And then the women went frolicking on the beach.
That's my schedule every day. Wake up, tell Lucy all my problems, and then just go frolicking along. That's literally my my daily routine.
The pee drinking might not be part of your.
Not part of mine. I prefer a protein shake, coffee maybe. Different strokes for different folks, whatever.
Yeah, it's. But I think I'm not pulling that on up, Brandon. I don't know what you mean by that one. I don't know. Rage Crochet. Congratulations with 100 subscribers. It's always nice to get those round numbers. It works, even though it's not that important. Important is having good streams with good friends, but still, it's nice to see numbers. So
yeah, it's cool. It's like a little like point. You get like little. It's like not speed bumps because I guess that's what slows you down, but it's like little milestones. You know, like you get to like be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you're like, hey, we get this, and I love it because a lot of times when you're not thinking about it, you know, then people are always the ones to let me know. They're like, oh, you're getting close to this. I'm like, no way. And then like you get excited to get there. So that's always fun.
But it's also very dangerous. It's kind of like going on the scale every time you're on a diet. Because if you get on the scale every day, you're looking, oh, I gained 100 grams. Oh my, I'll just eat the Haagen-Dazs the rest of the day. Because I've been sitting at 12.6 and anywhere from 12.630 till 12.690. And nothing, I was just moving up and down. And then finally I broke 12.7. So that's now a nice... but you get hung up on the number thinking, oh, it's not moving. That's weird. So it's good, and it's a little in Southern slang. Oh, cups of. It could also be something else, Brandon. And I never know with where your mind is going.
What did Brandon say?
He said it looked like you lost your cups. So I thought maybe it was.
Oh, I'm sober now, is what he's saying. Is that what you're saying? Because last stream I was on, I was in the cups, and I had a blast. I had no filter, but I had a blast. It was fun.
Yeah, it's nice to let down some, but it's nicer to do it on someone else's channel, because when you come back Monday morning and you have to cover that 4-year-old girl who had a horrible accident, and you're sitting here. And people saying, "You're really funny Monday, Friday when you said this and that."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm able to let loose a little bit more on other people's streams because I feel like I'm not responsible. Like I don't have to worry about what I'm clicking. And apparently, when I'm not worried about what I'm clicking, I also don't worry about what I say. So you know, it's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. Dave asked me the next day. He was like, "Do you want me to like edit any of that out?" I was like, "No, it's fine. I don't remember what I said, but I'm sure it was fine. It's fine."
Yeah, it's and again, if you say something stupid, you probably meant it anyway.
Probably, so, yeah. I own what I say. It's fine. Whatever I said, I meant in the moment. So we'll just go with that.
I know you said sack sucks, and I can only agree on that one.
I don't remember that part, but I'll own it. Hugs to Lucy. She's around here somewhere. Lucy girl.
She's raiding the fridge.
Probably, yes. How funny was that? So for those of y'all who don't follow me on social media, my kid comes by and raids my fridge. And so he grabbed, one of the things he grabbed the other day was a Yoo-hoo. And so he left me a note. He taped it on the Yoo-hoo box, and it said, I took a Yoo-hoo, and it was signed Lucy. I was like, that's cute. That's funny. When he does stuff like that, it's cute and funny, so it makes me not get mad at him for coming and taking all my groceries. I wouldn't get mad at him for that anyway. So
no, and it's more creative than most kid who said it's the Robles.
It's the what?
The Robles.
The Robles?
The Robles. It's the robbers and something mixed together. He's, I don't know, 6 years old or something. So. And they also used his handwriting to write his name on the wall. Oh. It was the Robles.
Oh.
It's I hate it when they do that. It's so annoying. Come in and try and pin it on you. But
can y'all hear the construction? Can you hear that? I've got my noise filter. Okay, good. Okay.
No, I as long it's really good that take away the background noise, because I had I think Alexa's room didn't have any headset, and then I just put that eliminate background noise, and it just took everything away. So it's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah, good. Okay. It's bad here, but as long as y'all can't hear it, that's fine. We're in off season right now here at the beach, so it's like every single off season there's construction. So it sucks because my sleep schedule is off, because normally when I'm working during the day, I can work around it when it's like this. When it gets really loud, it's hard. I could work around it, but I can't record. So if I'm on a deadline, then I'm having to like try to work and research during the day, and I can only record at night when they're not allowed to work. So then my sleep schedule gets off. So I'm all kinds of screwed up right now. But
And welcome to all the AJ raiders, and thank you so much, AJ, for the raid. And stick him up. It's an raid. Yeah, I hope you left Zach over there so we don't have to deal with him today. But I have been doing this even though we've talked before. Why YouTube? Is my first question.
Why YouTube?
Yeah.
People told me to. So after the whole Murdoch thing, when I did the chart, then everybody was like, well, since you broke this down, you need to do YouTube videos so you could kind of break it down and do the same thing that you do, but do it on a YouTube video. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how to do that. And so my kid actually set up my YouTube account for me because I didn't really know what I was doing. And then Recovery Addict helped me learn how to stream. But I did the just like recap videos at first. And then, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to be a live streamer. Like, I can't do live. I wouldn't even go on, like, as a guest when people wanted me on as a guest, because I was like, oh, no, I can't do live. Like, that's not me. So that is how it started. But my thing was, I always wanted to do a podcast. I don't like being, I told you this before, too. I didn't want to be on camera. But I don't like being on camera.
You have to remember that we play this game where those people out there don't know. They have to believe we don't talk any. So...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you're hearing this for the first time ever.
You wanted to do a podcast instead. Okay.
I wanted to do a podcast. Because I didn't want to be on camera. And I love listening to podcasts. And I also love that I don't have to be on camera for a podcast. So, oh, hey, publicly buzzed. Hey. My first stream was lit. My first stream was a shit show. Can I say that on here? My first stream was a mess.
Both Marissa and Jemima has. I had to institute a swear jar because I'm not saying it's like having the third Navy when those two people get going, but so they have a swear jar.
Okay.
So you can use their swears.
Okay.
And peace is over. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Zach. Oh, Zach. Hey, Zach. Just joking. Yeah, so that's how I got started on YouTube. And people do think, like, you know, you joke about it, but like people really do think that I'm not streaming right now because now all of a sudden I'm in a relationship. And it doesn't have anything to do with that. I don't plan on not streaming again ever. I'm working on this Netflix thing is taking a lot of time. Plus I'm still doing the podcast. So I have another project that I just have so much going on. So after, you know, all of that is done, then I can do some streams again, but I just can't get it all in right now.
And again, as we also never, ever talked about, it's actually hard doing what we're doing, even though we're just sitting on a butt for 8 hours a day, because Karen Reed case is 8 weeks where we just have to listen to stuff we have read up on for a year.
Yeah.
And we have to have a guy ask questions that would get someone dumped in the short bus school because it was so stupid.
Yeah.
And we have to sit here and you have people coming in every half hour saying, oh, what happened? I wasn't here. Oh, I had to go there. Can you... so you're sitting there, you're bored out of your mind. You have to remember everything said. You have to remember how it really doesn't line up because you have read all the evidence, so it doesn't. So I can't do it, but all you great ones can make it look easy. I'm just sitting here and hoping Jamie is gonna crack up laughing so I can sway. So it is hard, and especially if it's not what you wanted to do. Because podcasting, yeah, I could see the alert. I started out doing videos on Danish politics. I wasn't on screen. I just did, oh, this is how the numbers have moved since yesterday because it was election cycle. So got numbers every day. This is the new proposal from this party. This is the proposal from that party. This is, if you don't know, this is the unity list. This is their position. They are left wing. This is the party called left. It's right wing because it makes sense. And I was just doing all of that, and I liked it. You're sitting there, but I have that problem. I just really like to talk a lot, and
yeah,
not that much to talk about in Danish politics.
Yeah, it's, you know, and I love, when I started doing this, I was like, oh, this is gonna be so much fun because I watch all of this stuff anyway, and I love the interaction with people while you're watching it. Because especially when you're watching a trial that's just like ridiculous, you know, because you get to, like, my real life people don't care about that. So I'm like, I could call my friends and be like, oh my God, you'll never believe what just happened when this evidence, you know, and they're like, bro, like, talk to me about something. So it's nice to have people that you can talk to about these things. But when you are watching it and interacting with people and talking to people, you're kind of doing it on your own time. You can come in and out. You can zone in and out. You can, you know, pause it if you want to and do something else for a couple hours and then come back. It's kind of like, even though it's enjoyable and it's fun to do, you don't realize how different it is being on this side of it, because it's not just watching it and talking about it and reacting to it. It's doing all of that, plus trying to watch chat, plus trying to keep notes on what's happening, plus trying to remember what happened before, plus, you know, like, making sure, you know, all the mods are taken care of, plus making sure, it's so much, and it's all at once. And then if you aren't paying attention to chat, you get in trouble, but you got to pay attention to the, you know, to the trial, or you get in trouble. Like, it's just, it's a lot. And by the time I finish the streams, especially the long streams, I want to sit in silence. I don't want any noise. I don't want any kind of anything. It's a lot.
Yeah, and that's when people hit you up and say, oh, by the way, I was just watching the replay, and you said around hour 2 that, but I think you misunderstood that. Bro, it's 11:30. I just brushed my teeth. If I cannot think about Adam Montgomery till tomorrow around 3 in the afternoon, I'll be a happy, happy camper. Because,
Yeah.
But again, they do it because they love us and
Right.
and love that we care about it to show it. And that's the weird duality, that you kind of want to do it all the time, but you also, every time you're doing it, you're thinking, and sometimes you just have to, well, I'm not good at it. I haven't taken a break since I took that week in Tennessee, where I was the baker for an entire week as well, because you are who you are online, and then there's the person when the camera goes off. But that was actually nice meeting people, and you could be yourself. And then when we went out and met other people, okay, then you put on the persona, and because everyone is, oh, you're always so happy, you're always so upbeat. Well, I'm always grumpy and angry, but you have to be, because no one want to come in and say, yeah, today we are covering the Murdoch trial. It's such a bad trial. It's all the space.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah. It's like a responsibility to your people who are, you know, like, that's how it feels sometimes. Like, you have a responsibility to, like, try to, like, you know, all right, let me put all my stuff aside and, like, show up for you and do this for you. And yeah, it's a lot. Grifting's hard, y'all. Grifting's hard.
Talking about grifting, I better get all of these out of the way. Thank you, Dave. I'm only here for B&B, not Zach. So are we. Breezy became a member, and I read that one from Zach. And thank you for the swear jar fund, Brandi. You don't need to. It's just, they will take care of it, the ladies, because you are nothing compared to them swear-wise. I must admit, Brandi's podcasting skill is slightly marginally, maybe almost kind of above average.
That's the best compliment he's given me. So
yeah,
Like,
just
or at
calls
least the
me fat
closest
and,
thing to a compliment, I guess.
yeah, he says I'm fat and has a weird accent. So that's the best thing he can say to me. And use the jar. I will use the jar. And Zach. Oh, of course I deleted Zach's. Besides Karen and Murder, what was your other favorite trials, Brandi?
Oh goodness. Let's see. I would say Letitia Stalk was one of the ones that was the most interesting to me. Not necessarily interesting, just wild. And then Thomas Randolph. That was another one. But I think, well, and so Travis Rudolph and Thomas Randolph, I think, were, both of those are up there. There's a lot of them. I think those three are probably the most like right up there. Karen was not one of my favorites. Karen, no. I've grown to despise the Karen trial.
Murdoch, was it a favorite trial or was it just a trial you started covering?
Yeah, I mean, it was what got me my start. And yeah, I was more like, I guess it's not really emotionally invested, but I was more invested in that one than I had been in a trial in a long time. That was the first one too, where I actually got involved in like YouTube chats with it. Normally I just watched. I never got involved in any kind of chats or anything. So that was the first one where I was like, oh, like it's kind of cool to like actually talk to other people about what's going on. So that one was interesting for me as far as the trial itself goes, and because of how it, honestly, that trial changed my life in a way. So in a big way.
Yeah. And that's so weird because we build our success, whatever we call what we have, on the backs of very horrible things that we have to sit and talk about. But again, it's what happens. You and some of the cases you follow, Dave asked me to co-stream that border guard who unalived his girlfriend and his baby.
Yeah.
And the case was okay, but it was such a bad prosecution and even worse defense. So we dropped out in the middle of the DP part of it. And then I found Bradley Yawn. Bradley Yawn is my favorite trial of every trial I covered because I've never met anyone as stupid as him. It's and it's one of the worst cases. He sexually assaulted a 77-year-old lady with a spray can and threw her downstairs, and everything was horrible. But the things me and Jamie got to know each other, and he was just such a weirdo. So it was the perfect storm where you can sit and have fun while you're covering some of the worst things in the world.
Yeah.
And you need that. And I think chat really likes when you can have a bit of fun and you can you do the different counters and stuff like that, where people are thinking, oh, we don't have to sit and cry for 8 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I have overtaken Baker with 200 subs. Sweden on top again. Na. Well, Nick, I am good enough to know that we are still better in Denmark. So you can have all the subs. I am still Danish. It's I had someone ask me once, do you and Nick really hate each other? I said, why? You always make fun of each other. I said, yeah, we are the two countries in the world who's been at war most in history. Of course we make fun of each other. That's the Scandinavia. If you don't make fun of people in Scandinavia, you don't like them. If you're nice to them, it's because you don't know them, or you will always say something stupid to your friends. It's just the way Scandinavian are. So we are maybe a little bit of weird people. People don't understand what we're doing. Is there construction in the background? Can you hear it? I can't hear anything. You shouldn't be able to hear it, Medita. Maybe Medita came in late and is just about that point.
I want to play a game. I want to ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? I want to play
You
a game.
can ask me almost anything, and I'll lie my behind off.
Okay. Have you heard of the game F, Marry, Kill?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to ask you F, Marry, Kill. Boone, Sarah Boone, Shabusiness, and Letitia.
Unalive Letitia.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Agreed.
if your business, because you know that would be fun. It'll be wild. You would have injuries you'll have some diseases as well, but you would have
Sure.
those injuries where you're thinking, at my age, how did my leg get into that position? Oh, she did that with a feather. and of course, after seeing Sarah Boone in her shorty shorts straddling a bush, drinking off the faucet,
Gotta marry her. Gotta marry her after that. Yeah.
It's
That's
really easy. No, it's but it's yes, your business just attacked a prison guard.
Yes.
It was just
Yes.
it broke a couple of hours ago. She's going back the 7th of January or something like that.
Yeah.
It didn't help.
She's a whack job. Yeah, I saw that. It said that she was laughing when she attacked a nurse and then hit a sergeant with the medical tray. And so I think I put it on Twitter and I was like, really? She seemed so lovely and capable of rehabilitation. But
She's
allegedly.
I don't know if she was just potty trained the wrong way or the drugs did it to her, but oh my god, that girl, something's clearly wrong with her. It's just so stupid but how can you go that far without anyone? We always talk about this when we're having discussions. We don't have a crime problem. We have a mental health problem. She can just sit out there, do all the drugs, make all her problems even worse, and then it'll just end like it did. It's so yeah, I don't know what to say. It's so horrible to know. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, wait, I have another one. F, Marry, Kill. Lori Vallow, Jodi Arias, and I need one more. Who's another one? Who's one more female? Somebody give me somebody. Who's another female murder or alleged murderer? Allegedly. I need one more. Casey Anthony. Okay, that's a good one, Terry. That's a good one. Okay, so Lori Vallow, Jodi Arias, and Casey Anthony.
Don't really know Lori Vallow, so of her. She's the one with the kids who's going to trial again after being found guilty for she killed half her husbands or something. I haven't followed that trial really. So of her, again, you have a good time with the three-hole wonder. So who was the last one?
Casey Anthony.
But she's a party girl.
Yeah.
I'm not a jealous type, but she seems like one who would stray a lot, and
yeah.
I don't. I'll probably I'll marry Jodi, and I'll have one good night with Casey Anthony, because Jodi, she's up for everything.
She's up for everything.
So when you get to that 7-day spot in the relationship, it's getting stale, and you're thinking, should we leave each other? She will just say, well, we can switch up the routine, if you catch my drift. She's a fancy girl. That's so many weird cases, but it's funny. You can't really do it with men, because all the men are horrible. Horrible,
Yeah.
horrible. Alex Murdaugh. Who can we take? Who? Yeah, it's Bradley Yawn, and you'll just kill all of them. Just get it out of the system. That's that's the weird thing, because we don't see it as much because we don't have the coverage in Denmark. You can read about it in the papers, but it's just not the same as sitting here listening to them day after day talking about well, I did this. Did you see that one I covered last week, the Falazzo trial? The guy who on his 1-year anniversary with his half as old wife, they went to Vermont to visit his sister for the first time in many years. He wanted to go into the van life because nothing a woman loves more than sleeping in a van. And and because women, you can be a little naggy, and she started nagging. The transmission was wrong. He was smoking weed and drinking vodka, so she was naggy, and then she punched him in the gonads and threw a candle at him. So he went outside, and when he came in, he did some yoga and smoked some more weed to try and calm down. And then when he tried to crawl into bed, she said, "That's it. You're effing done." So he had to put 2 in her head, stabulate her 18 times, and cut her up and put her in 5 different bags in self-defense.
Wow.
You're sitting here thinking,
is he the one that looked like he was on mushrooms when he was like testifying? Like he looked like he was like just out of it, zoned out. Is he the one? Did he have like a
No, this guy, yeah, he had a man bun, but he was very sincere, and it was clearly she was nagging, so maybe it was justified. I'm not saying it was, but
let that be a lesson, ladies. Go frolic instead of nagging.
That's actually what Zach and I reasoned, that she didn't frolic enough. That's what the problem was. He might have been banging everything with a skirt or trying to, but again, women can be a little. Sometimes they start early.
Totes,
2 of my absolute favorites. Love seeing Brandi and Baker. Is a hoot. Well, thank you so much, Crispy Bacon.
I thought that said Baker is hot. I was like, oh, dang, look at you, Crispy Bacon. Oh, dang. But yeah, I see it now.
Then you put on your glasses and thought, nope, her eyes aren't that bad. Thank you, Crispy. I don't know why she got.
I keep muting in between because they're getting louder over here. So I get like some people are hearing the construction, so I keep kind of muting it in between. But
yeah, there's a little.
Yeah. Drives me nuts.
Who here loves to frolic? That's every woman does. And Crispy is out frolicking right now. It's amazing. 8 bags. No, they only found remains in 5 bags. There was 8 bags in total, but only 5 bags found. So, yeah, that was. But again, he put a pillow over her head and then claimed, "Oh, it was self-defense." Nah, it didn't look like it. But they actually had to. The jury was out for almost 4 hours. I wouldn't have left the jury stand. I would just said, "No, let's just put him in there."
Yeah, I haven't been able to watch any of them lately. Hey, Jindeka. I haven't been able to watch any of them lately. I haven't been able to watch anything other than just the stuff I'm working on lately. It's been wild.
Thank you, Forrest Nelson, for 5 memberships to Courtney, Kelly, Kathy. I need my glasses to read that screen. Fio and Mom of 10 and thank you, Forrest. No, were you at the sentencing hearing for the fire pit?
Yes, I was there. Yep. Sorry guys, I can't do anything about the construction people.
No, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I was there. It was interesting. So her daughter sat right in front of me, and then Travis got there, and they both got there late. She walked in and sat right in front of me, and then Travis got there, and he sat kind of like a couple people down from her. She got there with friends. And then you couldn't see it on camera, but she was kind of like leaned over to mouth "I love you" to her daughter. But other than that, she didn't really react much. But I got to talk to the family after, and you know, they're grateful for, you know, she gone. She gonna be there. She ain't going nowhere else. So
Yeah, and did I watch part of that sentence? No, I think I got in late. I saw parts of it. She didn't. Did she give a speech? Her daughter gave a speech.
yeah, Laurie didn't say anything. She didn't speak. She just, oh my gosh, it's getting louder.
She said something. The lawyer asked her something just before she got her sentence, where she was just but other than that, yeah, she said nothing, but the daughter did. That's yeah. It's
all right, hold on. I keep muting it when it gets really loud because it's like really loud. But yeah, she's also a whack job. I do hope though that with her being gone now, that it opens up things for Travis to kind of come into the light and, you know, and kind of realize a little bit more of what was actually happening. And I hope that it opens up the opportunity for her kids to be able to have more of a normal life than they would have been able to have if she'd have still been there being a shitty mom.
I saw it a lot. Like she was one of those controlling women who had taken away and had done the same with her new husband, where she just takes away every freedom to see family, contact family, do anything, and then she claims victim after when I didn't do it. They isolated themselves. The stories she told from New York, I was so what? I never been to a gym. You just said you went to New York, took a spinning class. No one goes to a spinning class the first time they go to the gym. And then you came out of the shower, he just punched you in the face. You're at your mom's place.
Yeah.
She was such a...
She's full of shit. Yeah, she's... And the thing is like, if you listen to the podcast episode I did on her testimony and her daughter's testimony, when I put them together... because I download the transcripts because there's always things that I miss when I'm watching the trial, especially if I'm watching in person. So I get the transcripts and then I read through them to pick up on anything. And as I'm reading them, I'm like, there were a couple words that specifically stood out. And I was like, and then I started comparing and I was like, holy shit, they have the same script. So I clipped it together. And when you clip both of their testimonies together in like from the part where they're talking about what allegedly happened, it doesn't make sense, number one, but number two, it's like verbatim as if it were written down and they memorized it. And when you hear them testify on different days or whatever, it doesn't click as much. You can tell that they're, you know, they're going by a script, but you can't really tell how exact that script is until, you know, you put it together.
Yeah, you read it back. Yeah. And I remember back about the part where her boyfriend magically appeared out of thin air. There was something that was said right there where you just thought, that's not something she ever thought of herself. Right. It's such a grown-up statement, and it's such a specific thing that you're sitting here thinking,
Yeah. She even like tried to take into account the whole thing with the chair. Like she was like, oh, he sat in a chair. Well, she had to bring in a chair because she had to be able to explain why the bullet hole in his head was round instead of oval. Because if it was coming from her daughter, like she said, it would have been oval. So she's like, oh, he sat in a chair and was stomping on my head, which first of all makes zero sense. And you couldn't see this on screen, but the prosecutor actually pulled a chair around in front of the jury and sat exactly how they were explaining this. He did this when Isabel was on the stand. He pulled it around and he sat how Isabel was saying. And he was like, so you're saying that, like, you know, he had his one foot here and his other one was kicking. If you actually try to act out what she's saying, you can, and So that was really powerful moment in front of the jury, but I wish that you could have seen that on screen. But that was a big moment. But it was, I mean, the whole thing was just ridiculous.
What upcoming cases are on your radar? I'm looking a little bit on the mom who's now claiming insanity after unaliving her kids, but I think it begins in April maybe, but they were supposed to have a hearing or about to have a hearing, so I might look at that to see if that's covered. And Brandi, you just released a new episode yesterday.
It's going to be out tomorrow. I'm finishing it up now. I put like the one on Bryce. Bryce, oh God, he's awful. So that one should be out tomorrow as long as I get it done today. Otherwise, it'll be out Friday. But I have I'm really looking forward to Billy Wagner's trial. That one, I need to double check on the dates on that, but because I know it's changed, you know, over and over, but I'm really looking forward to that one. Of course, Lori Vallow, that was the very first trial that I ever live streamed. So that's one that's going to be, and plus with her representing herself, that's one that's going to be, you know, kind of on my radar, really interesting. And then Karen Reed, I guess.
Yeah, it's I don't mind. Well, I mind it for her sake, but I'm not that unhappy that we have 4 months till it starts, because it was a long 8 weeks, and the new prosecutor isn't better than Lally. He's actually worse.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And Holly Mac, thank you for gifting.
Hey, Holly
Amber
Mac.
C, Ellie Ann, yeah. Margaret Carmichael, Moonfox Studios, K-Mat Red Queen, Snarky, Just On, Anne Ganesh, BG, Beach Bum, and thank you for gifting them a membership. The funny thing, everyone wants to talk about that Vallow Daybell. I don't know if I was streaming. I think I had started streaming. Yeah, we started around the same time, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything. I know she unalived her husband and her kids, and she was apprehended in Hawaii.
Yeah.
But it's the same with the Delphi case and Idaho 4. If I don't cover it, I don't. You know how it is. We don't look up other cases when we are in the middle of a case, because
it's
we
too
have
much.
overload.
Yeah. So Lori Vallow was the first one that I live streamed. Everything else that I had done up to that point was just like the recap videos. So that one was a big deal for me. But when I wanted to watch it, there was nobody that I watched that was streaming it, because there was no video. It was only audio, and they were only releasing it at the end of the court day. So it was like, everybody was like, I'm not touching that. So I was like, well, I'll do it. Like, you know, why not? And I thought like nobody was going to show up on my first stream. And I sat there and I did it from a Chromebook and my little desk over there, and like held Lucy the whole time, like freaked out, like didn't know what the hell I was doing. But that was my first one. And that one was a crazy one, because she is also a whack job. So there's that. She thinks she's a prom queen. So there's also that. She believes in a bunch of really weird stuff. And I am all for, you know what? You do you, boo. Believe in what you want to believe. But when you believe that you took the devil and wrapped him up like a taco and sent him to Antarctica so that you could save everybody, that's a little bit past like my own personal line of what's, you know,
like
normal-ish.
Letitia's now going to Florida, burying the son so he would resurrect like Tupac.
Yeah, she's another one that's a whack job. Because remember, Michael, the archangel, gave her a business card. That's how she knew it was him. That one was fun too. Actually, my very first podcast episodes are Letitia, and they're bad. So I'm redoing those right now, actually, because they're all it's just all the audio from my video recaps. So it doesn't translate the way that the rest of my podcasts do. So anyway, I'm redoing those right now. I've got the first 2 done and re-uploaded, and then the rest of them will be out sometime in the next few weeks as I'm kind of working on those in the background. But so going back, so I've been like knee deep in Letitia's stuff the last few weeks as I'm redoing all of this. And it's like I forgot what a crazy person she is. And I forgot how much I despise her yada yada yada. Ugh.
Yeah, when I wasn't streaming at the time. I think I watched it on Dave's. That's when we got in touch, Dave and I, and he invited me on to do the English part. And the stories she told, the bike, someone run over, the Petco mafia, the pregnancy, money belly.
Cash money belly. Yeah, the cash baby. Gotta have cash baby.
And the vampires in Alaska. And you just... I've been doing this for 13 years, sitting, listening to all of these stories. And I'm thinking, you have to listen to what is coming out of your mouth. And do you think it sounds reasonable? Would you believe it if someone, especially when they trail off and go on 15 different... It's like streaming with the expert. You start at hello and you end up in Antarctica and thinking.
Yeah.
And 2 hours has passed and you're thinking, did we have a conversation?
Yeah.
And it's probably one of the best conversations you ever had, but you don't know why. Because he has a way of bing, boink, all the time.
See, Letitia's hard to keep up with because she uses more words than anybody has ever used ever to say less than anybody has ever said ever. Like she is all over the place in the worst way possible. And she bounces back and forth nonstop like she's on crack. I don't know. What do people on crack do? Do they do that? Is that a thing? Like whoever bounces back and forth, whatever drug you're on when you're bouncing back and forth.
I'm classy. I stay off crack. I do only a mainline heroin.
Okay. So I don't know how that is. Insert whichever drug that makes people act like that. When they're like bouncing back and forth, like that's her. And when you finish listening, you don't know what the hell just happened. And you can't pick out, like, you have to like try to weed through all of the words to get to the story. And that is emotionally and mentally draining, trying to decipher Letitia's yada, yada, yada. It's a lot.
Sue has a problem with Apple, but I hope you can always listen back. And she's cussing Sue. It's a day ending in a Y. Of course you're cussing. I don't know why. I had a defendant once he was at 4 different geographical points at the same time. Oh. He was asked on November the blah blah at around 8 o'clock. Where were you? Well, I'd just been in Germany and I was going home, so I was around this city, and because I can remember the highway kind of splits off, and to get onto the island we live on, you have to turn right, and he remembers it clearly that it was right around that time. And then they said, are you really sure? Because when we're looking at your phone data, you said you were in Germany, because we have you on your GPS, or your cell is pinging in my town at that time. Oh yeah, oh that day. Well, I had left around 2 hours before, and the reason he remembered the highway splitting is because he was actually going to another city, and the highway split, so you can go south to Germany or north into Jutland. So he was right around that place, because that day he actually, and he could prove it, he had been at McDonald's buying dinner at that time. I said, are you really sure about that? Because we actually have you pinging here at that time. Oh yeah, I was at home eating with my mom. Yeah, I always eat with my mom at 8 o'clock every night. Yeah, but you were arrested at 8 o'clock that night. Yeah, sure. Well, we weren't arrested. We were just questioned by the police. I remember that clearly. We had audio recording, us taking notes, and we had a court reporter. Normally, we don't have court reporters. They just transcribed the audio. She asked to be there because she couldn't figure out what he was saying on the tape, because every explanation took 45 minutes, and then he said, oh no, that day, no, I don't know what I did that day. So she was transcribing while and I think there were 6 people indicted in the same case, and 2 of them clearly had some drug debt or whatever. They had something on them, so I did it. One of them said, I robbed the store. Okay, who's the guy with you? I didn't see anyone else. Well, on this surveillance camera, the guy you're talking to right there, who's that? I didn't see anyone in there. But there's clearly a guy standing right in front of you. You're the one with that mask on. Yeah, I did it alone.
Yeah. Don't you wish that you could just like thump them on the head and like make them start over, like just, and then like get the real hi, Master Small, long time no see.
Yeah, been a second.
And just get the right answer. I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, but that's the thing in Denmark. We can't call it perjury because, of course, you could see another person on but they are allowed to lie in Danish court. So, but sometimes you just want them to say, "Come on now, come on."
Yeah,
it's the same. She was 14, so that's, and then he was my age, and former drug addict, now alcoholic, and claimed she wanted it. Most 14-year-old girls who probably looked 12 when you really looked at her really want a big fat alcoholic to, that story didn't fly that well either. But no, they have to try. It's the same. Did you see that girl in South Carolina who rammed the wedding party?
Yeah.
And now she's angry that she didn't got any leniency because she pled guilty. Yeah, 2 years after.
Yeah.
You did it. You did it on the day of court starting. Come on now. Yeah. I really I dislike. I've had so many people I just dislike right now.
Yeah. It's hard because like we watch and deal with people all day long who are despicable people. And so it's hard because, you know, like people are inherently just intrigued by true crime stuff. It's interesting. We want to hear the stories. Because a lot of it's like, you know, real life is stranger than fiction a lot of times. So we want to hear these things. So as a creator, you want to be able to tell these stories because, you know, it is something that's interesting to people. But also, I get pissed every time I'm working on a new story. I'm like, this guy sucks, or this girl sucks, or these people suck. And like, it's hard because, you know, you have like those moments of levity and you get to kind of like laugh at attorneys or laugh at, you know, dumb criminals who write letters to the judge and blame everybody. Like, you know, you have all these things that like bring these moments of levity, but then you also have a lot of moments where you're like I'm like rage texting sometimes, or like rage typing sometimes, like per my last email typing, like where you're just like, you know, when you get mad at these people, some of them just really suck.
Yeah. Oh, a question I had never had. I just invented this question.
I love inventing
any
questions.
of the cases you have covered or you know about, which one do you think would make the best movie?
Laurie Shaver, I think.
Yeah, probably. Because, you could tell that story about how she was slinging her roast beef sandwich everywhere she went. And, yeah. And...
Because there's a lot of stuff that did not make it to trial. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of wild stuff. And so... that one would
the name tag on La Lalas de Tuna was what did it for me.
Yeah. I think that one. I think Thami would be another one that would be a good movie. That one would be, because he's a shit show too. He reminds me a lot of Tellis, like where they just, which is funny because they're both like Las Vegas. They had the same prosecutor too, but they remind me of each other where they just like to hear themselves talk.
Be kind, Tiger. Thank you. Yeah, but the funny thing is, most cases are really, really hard to make interesting if you're not watching. When you do the podcast or do the shortened version, I try to, when I do a podcast, when I do a trial, I'll try and do a Danish podcast and just summarize what happened and talk a little bit about it. Not anywhere near what you're doing, just like a recap. But it's really hard to make it interesting when you have to talk. And then this witness talked a little bit about that. But in some cases, I think you could tell a good story about it. It's the same with Karen Read would be a really bad story. It's hard to make it interesting, a trial like that, because you could, maybe the Aruba could bring some tension into it, but it's not. Most cases are really, on the basis of it, really boring cases. With just some weird people.
A lot of them are, and that's one of the things. That's one of the reasons I'm going back and redoing some of my first podcasts, like the ones that I'm like right now. I'm redoing the Letitia series because my first episodes are all okay. Then this, person, like you said, like it's recaps. That's what I was doing. Like I was doing that was the whole point of my videos, and those podcasts are just the audio from those videos. But what I normally do on my podcast, like now that I've got it established, and I do like actually, it's not just kind of the audio taken from my videos. I take all of that stuff that happened and I create the full story and then write that out. So that gets rid of all the, that way you're not saying like, you can say like there was one shell casing found at the scene instead of then the next one came out and he said this and this and this and this. And then they searched here and here and here and here. And like all that you get from that, like, is that there was one shell case. So I kind of, it's like you take all of these things, which may be interesting to us weirdos, but as far as like the mass, general public, they don't get into that stuff as much. So it's kind of like taking all of the information, and the way that you have to present it in court is very regimented, and you have to ask things a certain way, you have to answer things a certain way, and you have a lot of rules. But once you get the information, then you can kind of present it as a full story together, and it's a lot easier to digest.
Yeah, and that's the hard part of doing this, because you have to be a storyteller, and and as we started out talking with that, it is kind of hard, even though some of you make it look easy. I'm just here, where you sit here and you have also, because you have to make it interesting when you're just. Marissa one day said, "Is that a way to sell it?" Because well, back to the most boring case in the world where we're going to hear some stupid argument. So I had to do the, oh my, day 25 in the Karen Read case.
Yeah.
What will we hear today? What, if any, snow? Did they clear the tarmac? Whose white Jeep was parked outside that no one saw?
And who won in the Canton High School versus Foxborough girls varsity basketball game?
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
Could we figure out who was the MVP of that game? Could we get her on? That should be the next get. Someone figure out who was the top scorer. Let me interview her. It'll make more sense than anything in that trial. It's hey, Overthinker. A great duo. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been lucky with all my guests. It's so nice. Yeah, Brandon, just get more drunk.
I may have had it, Karen.
Brandon was out watching music. Wife was out of town. He's been crying all day.
Oh.
Brandi in the chat got me to change my name slightly. I just remembered that.
Wrestler. It's a wrestler. It's not a wrestler. It's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Coleslaw wrestling at the biker bar.
You're also a Southern girl, so you know all the old wrestling. That's where it all came from. All the good ones. Jake the Snake, The Undertaker, all the great. Yeah, I called you The Undertaker today, by the way.
Oh, me?
Yeah, because I said, like Undertaker at the WrestleMania, you know it will be great.
See, look at there. I guess I've been compared to worse people, so I loved him when I was growing up.
Yeah, he was the only one keeping kayfabe till the end, so that's good. How does everyone highlight names in chat on iPhone? It's just too hard to do any tricks. I don't think, because you can't do it on handheld devices. You have to put in the asterisks or the ad. I think you call it. We call it an A with a like an elephant trunk. Is what we call the ad sign.
An A with an elephant trunk. That's
Well, we call it a trunk A.
Oh.
That's because it's an A but with an elephant's trunk on it.
I like it. I thought it was a tail. I thought it was like a tail that wrapped all the way around.
Well, we're weird people, but that's the name of it in Denmark. It's a trunk A. So it sounds better in Danish. Snabel A. But yeah. How does Brandi organize all her information for each case?
I use Google Docs, or not Google Docs, Google Sheets. So I have, for every single trial that I do, I have a Google Sheet that has different tabs on it. And I have one for every day of the trial with just the summaries. I have one that's a very, very detailed outline with every single time and every single date that is ever mentioned in every document and every part of testimony. And then I have one page that's just like basic background stuff, that's like the prosecutor's name and the family's names and the victim's names and addresses and any of that stuff that I need, like for quick reference. And then as far as like the documents, I have a folder in my drive that I save all the documents and have them on there. So one of the tabs on my Google Sheet has all of the documents in order, and so that if I know which one I need, I can just go click on it real quick. It's very extensive, but it works.
Yeah, that's the difference between you and I. I have it in the noggin, and then Jemima or Marissa will yell at me for not. Didn't you know you could see this? Didn't you know? Why didn't you read? I'm sorry. I'm not good at homework because I also feel I'm too prepared to react to a trial if I read all of the documents and read all the articles, watched all the shows. I think that's why Karen Read got so long too, because we have had, I don't know how many shows on it before the case started, so we knew kind of what evidence there wasn't any surprises, other than I've seen on social media the bar tabs that we never got that bar tab from the waterfall.
Yeah. There was only the one from, or no, there was the one from Waterfall, but not from C.F. McCarthy's.
Yeah, and that's the one where he, during the trial, said they had 2 beers and 2 Tito's. So he implied that was from C.F. McCarthy's, but that was actually from the Waterfall. And she never, ever entered the bar or went to the bar, and she claims she didn't drink there. So, that's it got a little repetitive. We still don't know what the band played, but it was really hard to. That's the same when people are saying, "Oh, you should rewatch." It's like watching a sports game. You can't sit here and be surprised when the Patriots lose to the Giants when you watched it the first time.
Yeah. See, for Karen Read, I was watching during the day, and then I had my spreadsheet. So I was taking like just basic notes of things that happened. And then for things that I was like, oh, I need to go back to this, I would put timestamps beside it so that it would make it easier for me to go back. So I'm doing that during the day as I'm streaming it. And then at the end of the day, then I would download the video and then upload it to Otter, which will turn it into transcripts. So then I would go through the transcripts and get the full stuff. So then that way I can pull out any of my timestamps, any of my dates, anything that I missed, I can add it to my timeline. I can do all that. And then I get all of the information I need. And then I use that to do the podcast episode. So it's a very, it's a very involved process that requires no sleep.
I just can't do that with my my time schedule, because you end the trial at 10 my time. Jamie and I will just be chit-chatting a little bit because you have to do that calm down after the show. Then I'll get up, I'll get a biscuit or something before bed.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Sorry.
And then it's 11:30, 12 o'clock. And then I get up in the morning and you just don't want to start the day sitting there running through all the stuff. So
Yeah.
I just can't. So I stole from you and Olivia a lot. But that's sharing is caring and stealing is even more caring.
Yeah. I have no problem sharing. I'm not like, I don't like when people take credit for my stuff though. I don't mind sharing. Use it, reference it, share.
Yeah,
like,
and say, oh, I stole this from Brandi, and you can find it here.
Yeah,
That's
like
the least you can do.
I have people that will send me pictures, like screenshots of my charts on like Reddit and stuff, because I don't know how to work Reddit. I have no clue. Cannot work it. I've tried before. It confuses me. And if I try it more than twice and I still don't know where the hell I'm at, like I'm like lost in the neighborhood, then I don't try it again. I can't work Reddit. And I think people know that because they've heard me say that before. I don't know how to work it. So people will post my stuff on Reddit and be like, I made this timeline for this. Like, no, ma'am. Yeah. You did not. I did that.
I watched, I found this really good timeline at Brandi Churchwell, Olivia Now, whoever made it. It doesn't make your product bad that if you can use it as a kickoff point. But if the only thing they have is your timeline say, see what I did. No, you're just an ass.
Yeah.
Can't say that.
I don't even care if they don't remember where they got it and I see it and they're like, oh, I found this somewhere. Cool. But I don't like the people who are like, I did this. That's what makes me mad. I don't care if you're like some weirdo blonde on the internet did this and I hate everything about her, but this chart's cool. I don't even care about that. But don't say you did it. That's what really irks me.
Brandon don't like when he ghostwrites 99% of your work and you don't even give him a byline. Oh, the truth is out. Brandon is the mastermind behind the podcast.
That's yeah.
We learned so much.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to tell people. Can we edit that part out?
Yeah, we're gonna cut that. Brandon, she'll deal with you later. Lucy will pay you a visit.
My guard dog. Yeah.
But I've been keeping you for a little more than an hour now. We normally end with you being able to grift yourself a little bit. I'll do the round off after that. But you have the floor.
I am. Where can you grip? Oh, 13 Juror Podcast. I haven't been streaming much. I am on YouTube, youtube.com/Brandi Churchwell, but I haven't been streaming much lately because I've got some big projects going on. But the main thing is 13 Juror Podcast. So you can find it Apple Podcast, Spotify, anywhere. So if you want to listen to that, there's 2 seasons. The first one is different trials, and then the second one is all deep dive on Karen Reed. I know, the podcast. I forgot. Not forgot.
The podcast, whatever. Yeah. Thank you so much for showing up and helping me out doing this 12 creators for Christmas. Which has been a wonderful getting to know new people. And we're not just sitting here, oh, Brandi, can I have you on to talk about this in the Karen Reed case? And we just do the same show 5 times in a row because everyone wants to do it. It's so nice to get to talk to people and do some stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I will have Trial TV live on. It'll be at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So never talked to them before. It's going to be interesting they're kind of new to the game. So please come join me and say hello to them. Friday, I'm working to try and fill the spot from Vices where we are now less than 1,000 subscriptions away from the silver play button. So please, everyone, if you want to do something nice for his family so they can inherit his play button, maybe go to Vices' channel and give a subscription. But Trial TV live tomorrow. I'm working on someone for Friday. I won't mention names because if they say no, then people will be, oh, blah 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 blah. But I will.
I love that impression. That was spot on.
Yeah, you know how it is when people are, hey, I'm gonna have Brandi on, and it's gonna be great, and me and Brandi, and it's so fine, and you're sitting. And what? You sent me a mail if I want to do it, and I haven't responded yet. So both look like a-holes in the end. So.
Oh, Tuesday, I am going to. Tuesday's my birthday, so I think I am going to do a birthday stream. For anybody who wants to come on. It's Christmas Eve, so I get everybody's busy, which is why I'll be sitting at home on my birthday. Everybody's busy and everything's closed. But I'm going to do a birthday stream for a little bit that evening. I said something on my stream the other day that I was going to do that, and then I kind of forgot about it until just now. So I will do that. I will set that up. And I should have y'all on there too. Why not? Anybody who wants to come, I'll just send invites. Anybody who wants to come in, pop in.
I will be celebrating my grandson's first Christmas.
Aww.
So, but as she said, be here no later than 5, and it'll take a couple of hours. So I should be home again around, well, it's a pretty long drive, but I'll be home in the late afternoon on the 24th. Your time. So if you're going and you wanna, I'll jump on and wish you a happy Merry Christmas.
Sounds good.
So,
yeah, I haven't even thought about it yet. I just said I would do one, and then so you're involved in the early planning process. So Phil, you should
just invite Valhalla. He owes you so many streams anyway. So. Yeah, he can dress up one of the goats, and it can be a birthday, Christmas.
Yes. Yes.
Valhalla, you're on. So, but no, thank you so much, and we'll see about Christmas Eve. In Denmark, we celebrate Christmas on the 24th, so it's a little weird, but that's how we do it. I am, and apparently I'm doing a 25th of December stream.
Oh, fun.
Marissa was in some chat and took a screenshot where she said, because someone asked who's streaming on the 25th. Apparently I am. So that's
there you go. I won't be doing anything, so I can be all up in there saying hi and trolling you.
I'll probably do the same thing. Like, you'll find something to watch and maybe build some Lego, and then just chug out some invites, and people can jump on if they want to do it, because oh, Miss Shorty's doing too. Oh, then I don't have to do it. I don't plan, Jemima. I wait for you, Marissa, and Jamie to yell at me, and then I'll turn on the computer. That's how I do it. So
good plan.
Exactly, Fedorowski, but Americans, you know. Everyone, have a wonderful evening. I will get to bed before midnight today, which will be 1 tear full. And everyone, you already follow Brandi, but do it one more time if you forgot to. Or check that you haven't been unsubscribed, because YouTube is a hole, as they say.
Yes.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100.
100.
Because it is 100% correct.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.